Hello, hello. I'm just editing one of my overlays. Well, at least I'm trying to, anyway. Trying to figure out how I did it. I'm not sure how it actually physically works. Oh, I didn't mean to do that. I deleted one. I didn't want to delete one. I'm assuming this is the one. Oh, because it's the graphics. Oh, I get it now. Yep, okay. I'm just deleting something out of the social media. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. So hopefully that should update itself. Maybe. I mean, the amount of social media I'm on, I mean, it's hardly any point putting it out there. So I don't really use it apart from one or two. Anyway. Iron Brew Day today. Iron Brew Day today. I'm not sure why the totals seem to be reset, but let's have a double check of my values there. Edit. I've taken a default value out. In the future, your intro stream countdown might be a spoiler for a few seasons' time, and it was a newspaper results thing on. Oh no, that's from a practice session. Thanks for the follow, Pickle. Hello. You came for the Iron Brew. Right. I'm trying to stay awake. My throat is killing me. How are the squirrels doing? Are they alright? I saw a little bit of your trucking last night. But I had to catch up on so many videos and stuff. I'm still a bit behind with cutting up the last highlight. So yeah. So I thought today, expert driver. Hey. So today's itinerary. It's what time is it? It's 2:00. So we've got some sim racing to do this afternoon. I've already picked out what I'm having for dinner. So I'm going to have a quick pizza after I race today. So before that, we're going to look at some of my NOOB replays. So we've been going through the sim racing replays of stuff that I did. This month will be 24 years since I started sim racing. So I found the replays and I've been going through them, watching how bad I was, and hopefully watching things that I don't do anymore. Hopefully, I don't know. And getting annoyed at some of the decisions that were made against me. More of that to come. So we've been going through from what started in the year 2000. We're now up to the year 2002. So I'm now in my third season in a league that is actually still going, which is called UKGPL, which uses the game called Grand Prix Legends. So I started in Season 3, so we've looked through all the Season 3 replays, we've looked through the Season 4 replays, and we're on Season 5. I'm in what's called Division 5, So I've been in Division 5 for the last 3 seasons. We watched race 1, 2, and 3. And today we're going to watch races 4 and 5. There was a 6th race, but I don't believe I took part in it. So I can't show it to you because I don't have a replay of it. So I thought I'd have a bit more of an upbeat type of music today, just to keep me going. Because after I do this, I thought if I've got some time between now and the racing, because I'm going to be competing in a league called the VWSC, which is the Virtual World Sports Car Championship 1964, where I drive a Porsche 904. And we'll be racing 250 kilometres of Bridgehampton, which is about 56 laps. I'm not really looking forward to it because I find Bridgehampton quite difficult to memorise. And there's going to be 30 or more cars on the track at the same time. So it's going to be mayhem. And it's quite a tight track when you're going to have lots of people lapping you and what have you. So... but I may have time before then and after watching these replays just now. I may be able to do some more updates for some of the mods I've been doing. So I've been updating some of the older mods for R-Factor 2, just kind of tweaking putting the icons on them so they display correctly in the menus. It's kind of like quality of life update that I thought I would just do. I keep hearing people say, "Oh, what are all these, these icons that all look the same that don't show the car?" And I'm just like, well, I've got the skills to do it. Why don't I do it? So I do. I found out a workflow to do it, so I'm going to do it. So there you go. Right. I should have the menus already up. There we go. So, I believe if we look at the replays that we've got, so Season 5, we looked at Monza. Monza was horrendous. So, our last 2 rounds are Watkins Glen. Do you pass the work back to the modder? No, I don't. Because the update is literally an update. It's an optional update. So people can still use the old mod, or they can just add this one as like a quality of life update. So there's not really any need. Plus, the mods that I've been updating so far are technically like standard, so like ISI ones and Studio 397 ones, which they are unable to update because of time or licenses and things. They can't do it themselves. So I might as well do it. I don't think it technically invalidates copyright or anything, but I'm wondering about whether I may have figured out how to put like the brand icons on and stuff, and I'm wondering whether that might cause a problem. But there's things on Workshop which have like proper brands on them, so I don't know. Anyway, right. So rounds 4 and 5. So round 4 is Watkins Glen. Now I'm not gonna say that I always had a good run at Watkins Glen, because this race may be a disaster. So since though these races are quite a long time ago, I can vaguely remember bits and pieces. But I'm looking at these replays as fresh as you are, because it just seems like a completely different race. There's parts of the races that I go, I remember that happening. I remember raging at that. But other than that, it's all a bit of a mystery. So Watkins Glen's first. Let's see where we start. So it's going to be 33 laps. And this is a player replay, so I'm not going to see too many cars in front of me. I'm starting quite far forwards. Does that bode well or not? I don't know. I don't know. Right. So, who have we got? So, it's my nemesis. It's my nemesis. I believe it's either Alan Davies or Anthony Davies. I think he was the one that rear-ended me in Mossport, but got 0 penalty for it. So I'm a bit miffed. So he's on pole with a Lotus, and then we've got Andy Straw behind me in a Brabham. You've got John. Why does it always take the cars at the back there? I really don't understand. Is there going to be anyone behind? I'm guessing not. Why doesn't it show anyone behind me? That's what I want to know. Right. Well, at least we can see the flag man this time. So, is there going to be a good... Let's take it from the TV cam this time. From the start of the race. I can't see the flag man, so we don't see how good a start I'm going to get. Oh, I went before the rest of them. Up the inside. No, grabbed a bit of curb. Right. He's also jittering about a bit. Where's he trying to get a little bit of slipstream, it looks like. Got a bit of out of shape into the big bend. It's a very short lap. Alan Davies. Or Alan Davis. That's his name. Okay. So I know who to project my anger to. And in my first season, I got 5th in the championship. And then my second season, I got 7th in the championship. So am I going to be going up or down in the third season? I mean, it hasn't gone well. I started off okay, but then it's just gone downhill from there. Well, it looks like that Lotus is just completely checked out. I mean, that guy has been running the Lotus quite a lot. So I don't know whether the token system is going to cause problems with his car choice. But I think I'm going to the inside of the main straight there to break the toe. And it doesn't look like the car behind is following me. So I believe the battle is for second and third. So a good lap around here for me was about a 105. So we'll see whether we can actually get anywhere close. That's a 107. Yeah, lacking heavy car. Let's start the race. That's my excuse and I'm sticking to it. But that Brabham behind me is not going away. Now, some of the problems with that bend is I've found in practices, if you do get it a bit wrong and you end up going off onto the dirt just kind of drops away from you. And then it goes up, and you can actually end up, if you go off, there's a hay bale, and I've done this many times. You just the dirt just takes you off the track, keeps you off the track, and then you run on top of the hay bale, and that's you beached. So looks like this might be quite a lonely race if nothing happens. Something's happened to the Brabham. The Brabham's gone. Was that a disconnection? No, we're not going to look at it. So was that was Andy Straw, wasn't it? So did he have a disconnection? So I'm a little bit of a disadvantage here because those two Lotuses are fast. Right, down to a 106.6. So the leader is doing 106.6. So we're not really making any progress. The person behind is in the 107s. Bit of stalemate here. Bit of stalemate. Now I did a few laps around what was the someone made this era of track for a newer game, and it feels completely different. You know, maybe they had more reference material to maybe make it a bit more accurate. It feels way more narrow than what we raced here. And we're talking about a game that was made like 25 years ago. So whether or not they had the game technology to make it as realistic, or they just didn't have the reference material, or who knows? Who knows? But back then, as well, in 24 years ago, if you didn't know, that, you know, there was, once you were in the race, the only way of telling what position you were in and where you were on track was by a pit board that you only see when you cross the start and finish line. There was no like real-time relatives or anything like that to tell you who was in front and behind. You just had to pay attention to the flags. If there was something coming up to lap you, you hoped that a blue flag would tell you. The collision detection for this game was a bit flaky. I mean, the physics were always, you know, at the time, revolutionary. You know, there was nothing that had, you know, the suspension movement and stuff like that of this game. So, revolutionary in its day, but it's been surpassed. But I mean, I tried to get it working again to have a little bit of a drive to see what it felt like, but I couldn't get it to work. So it's merely just for replays now. And from memory, I think, because we're in season 5 now, I did take part until season 12, I think. And I think because this is 2002, we're doing this season. I can't remember what month we're in. We started in March in the year, and I think every race was about every month or so. So I would have been 23 years old. 2002, I think I was still sharing a flat. And I think my driving position was the wheel was attached to a desk. So it wasn't. I was on a desk chair with a. So the driving position wasn't that great. And I believe I was probably either still using a Microsoft Force View back wheel, or may have moved to a Logitech G25. I'm not too sure. Well, my pace is pretty stable. There's I don't think I'm catching. It's all around mid 106s. The leader is now still 106s. I'm guessing it's who makes a mistake first. And that's the guy behind. That's Mike Dawkins behind. So you brake and you come over the crest, and you just hope that you get your turning correct. Bury the front. There's the hay bale. If you get it really wrong, you're going over the top of that and probably going to get it vaulted over the Armco. And once you get vaulted over the Armco, you have to probably reset your car to the track, because there's no way getting back from that, from behind the fence. So it's all, this track always seemed to be about whether you can get your car set up for one corner and then the next. It just seemed that it just seemed a bit of like a momentum circuit. So you've got it, really get it into the next apex, otherwise you're just going to be really slow. I mean, what did we start off with? We started with a what did we start with? Oh, lost sound for a second. Bear with me. There we go. So the first race I started with a 4th position. Second race I got a 2nd position. That was at Mosport in Canada. Third race in Monza I got a very bad 13th position, I think. Yeah. So we just got to wait and see what happens with this one. I'm 2nd at the moment. They're gently pulling away in front, and I'm losing that. I've lost them from my mirror. There's no one there. I mean, you can see the guy in front only just, but he just seemed to be pulling away narrowly. I've got down to a 106.0, but that's still not fast enough. They're now in the 105.6s, so they're pulling away. But I think I've been in the Ferrari twice this season. Most of the season has been either in the Brabham or the Ferrari. So 4 races have been split between a Brabham and Ferrari, I think. Again, I'm kind of unsure how the token system was applied. They had like token values for high-powered cars that had high value, and they for low-powered cars they had a small value, just to balance the field out. And I think you had maybe a token allowance that you could use per season, so you couldn't take the fastest car every single race. You had to pick and choose what races you wanted to maybe use the faster cars at, because some of them would need a faster car to keep up. So So I've basically taken the third fastest car a couple of times, and I've taken maybe the fourth fastest car a couple of times. That's a 105.9. So we're in the 105s. So you need to hook it up every single lap to get a 105. The world record was a 103 something. So how far back are the so the guy behind is pretty much at the start of the straight as I'm at the end of it. Oops, excuse my hand. It's very lonely 30 laps. I hope there would be something more dramatic happening, but there will definitely be something more dramatic happening at the next round, which is Mexico. So Mexico is it's got what I call the white polos on the corners of every circuit. So concrete tyres that were buried in the ground, and they provided an utter nuisance, because if you hit them, you'll hit one and then you'll hit the rest of it. So Nürburgring first round Brabham, Mosport Ferrari, Monza Brabham, and then back to the Ferrari again. So who knows what I take for the next round? So lap times is... So we're coming up against lapped cars now. How kind are the lapped cars going to be? I've been trying to cut down on how much soda or fizzy drink I drink. So in my grocery shop, I basically buy a certain amount, and I try and restrict myself to one bottle a week. And I have on my whiteboard on my fridge to say that I wasn't allowed to have any more Iron Brew until the 17th. But I thought, because it's the weekend, maybe I can have it a day early. Because I'm not feeling very well. So this is a lapped car. So I'm going to catch them at quite a nice place. They move straight out the way. I didn't need to do that. I could have at least got a little bit of slipstream. So it was an eagle. That was actually my teammate, so maybe that was the reason. Maybe he tried to hold up the person in front, but he didn't do anything. Didn't do anything. Whew, lap 16 of 33. We're nearly half distance, and nothing has happened. Absolutely nothing has happened. I mean, if things stay as they are, this will be my second podium of the season. Now, just to double check. So, the last round was Monza, which was on the 21st of... So it was quite a quick season then. We started... The first round was the 17th of March, 2002. Next round was the 7th of April. Third round was the 21st of April. So this is probably going to be May. I mean, I've not fallen off the track. Touch wood. Not. I mean, what was the word we used, Ben? There's the you fall into like a chasm. You're not fast enough for the guy in front, but you're faster than the guy behind. You're in no man's land. And it's annoying when you have races like that because they just become so boring. It's either because there's been an accident at the start which spreads out the field in front. Racing in your own little bubble, that's it. Look like I'm getting closer to the guy in front there. Because he wasn't on the camera coming up there before. But races happen like that, I guess. I mean, I'd prefer a race where I'm, got something to chase. Otherwise, it can be a little boring. I'm hoping it's not going to be... Well, it's definitely not going to be like that tonight when I'm racing against 30 other cars. I mean, the last race we did was, ironically, Monza, which was a little messy. I did put in a... Did I put in a protest? I can't remember if I put in a protest for anything. I know that for the last couple of World Sports Car races, I put in a protest because of some not so nice driving, and people did get penalised, so that's good. It's always nice when the moderators agree with you. How was it? I don't think I've raced Fuji in a GT3 yet. I know the layout, but I don't know what it's like in a GT3, which is what we're doing tomorrow. We're going to be racing 90 minutes at Fuji, which is going to be GT3 cars and hypercars on the same track. And again, that series as well, that gets messy. Oh, is the Lotus Head making mistakes? Hard to tell. For the last race we had in the WEC, which is what Sunday's going to be, was at what was the last round? Brazil, Sao Paulo. I got vaulted over the catch fence by a lapping hypercar. I put in a protest for that. Nothing's come of that. It was a lot of annoyed people 2 weeks ago by just how cars were lapping them. And I pretty much had my race ended by being lapped on the fastest part of the circuit. I felt, after the race kind of finished, I felt like that I wasn't going to do the rest of the rounds. I was just so annoyed. But I mean, consistency is the key, really. As long as you can keep it on the track and capitalise on other people's mistakes. A little bright. I don't think it should be. I don't know what time we should be doing it at the same kind of in-game time, which is like 2 p.m-ish. I would have thought that Fuji might have been like an evening race or something, but Looks like another lapped car ahead. I'm definitely keeping up with that Lotus. I don't know if it's me going faster or him just having mistakes, but I'm definitely on the pace, keeping within the 106 bracket. So who have we got ahead? Lap 22 of 33. Not really much has happened. It's Ferrari, B. Phillips. So I'm going to catch B. Phillips at the same point I caught that eagle. Let's see if he is kind. Well, not going to catch him where I thought I was. Well, this is going to be difficult, isn't it? Going to catch him at the slowest point of the circuit. I think maybe my personal best, which I've probably only done a couple of laps, is probably mid 105. But it looks like my race pace is like 106-ish. I've only dipped into 105, I think, once. Oh, dearie me. I thought he had hit the grass. And this corner is just it's just so long that you're constantly wanting to get onto the throttle to get out of it. Magic stat book. I mean, maybe I should export my results from the GPL rank site to have a hard copy of my lap times and stuff. I mean, I'm never going to improve on them. And I mean, the lap times you can do in modern sims just don't compare at all. 105. You took a Lotus. That's cheating. I can't remember what my lap time was. I probably took a Lotus for my fastest one as well, so I can't say anything. I mean, it was definitely a couple of times where I took the fastest car just to get under the benchmark. 106.2, a Cooper. I mean, that's not too bad, is it? The fact that you can do comparative times in a bit of a slower car. I'll be intrigued to see what cars people took for this race, because obviously at Monza it was all Lotuses, which is the fastest car. It was all Eagles, which was second fastest car. A few Brabhams in there, which is about the fourth or fifth fastest car. I think that the Cooper was generally like it felt like the best handling. I mean, it wasn't fast in a straight line, but it was comfortable. But you really had to push it with it to be fast in it, I think. I mean, the Ferrari could kind of make up for that with its faster straight line speed. Well, Monaco stands to reason that you'd be quick in a slower car. But there's definitely a couple of my personal bests that are in Lotuses or Eagles, just to get past the benchmark. because if for people that don't know this game, back then there was like what would be like a ranking system. It was called GPL rank, and it was like I suppose measuring your EPing, I suppose. It was like a way to kind of tell to others how good you were at this game. So you had a set of benchmark times that you had to beat. For first, it was the 10 tracks that came with the game. So you had to get under the benchmark times to achieve what was called your GPL rank. And it was always a thing that if you go negative on your GPL rank, it means that you've pretty much beaten most of the benchmark times. And then it turned into other ranks where you had to do lap times at every single track. And I know that Ben did that. That must have taken ages. I mean, that would have driven me absolutely nuts trying to... Oh, there's a new track come out. Oh, I've got a lap time on it. No way. So the fastest lap time on the race is the 105.6. I've only been able to achieve a 105.9. I mean, that Lotus hasn't gone away. It's always been there in the distance. So the gap has fluctuated, but I'm just not close enough to do anything. And I mean, looking back to... third place is not even close to me. So I'm under no risk. I mean, it must probably say on my pit board like plus 30 or something. But lap 28 of 33, it's nearly over. I mean, there's not really much for the moderator to do in terms of my driving. I'm not going to feature in the moderator's report for once. But we'll see what happened to everybody else, because we've pretty much not seen anybody else. This is the loneliest race of the season, I think. I mean, I don't know how you got the game to work with the driving. I couldn't. I first of all couldn't get the force feedback to work. Plus, it wouldn't recognise my shifting paddles. That was on the same controller as, using the wheel. So I was able to map the wheel. That was fine. But wasn't able to map the buttons on the wheel, which just seems weird. But one of the games that came on after this, so this game came out in 1999, and the company that made it actually did go bust. Well, no, did they go bust or did they just turned into iRacing, I think. So the company that made these games is called Papyrus. Well, Sierra published it. Papyrus was the developer. So, oh dear. Ah, that's not the Lotus I was hoping it was going to be. That's the third place Lotus. Damn it. So looks like the second place is all we're going to get. But that Lotus has got closer. Maybe he got a bit more spooked than I did. But that is a bad place to spin the car, because he was coming back the other way. So the people that developed this game pretty much made the NASCAR games after this. So they made NASCAR 1, NASCAR 2, the NASCAR Truck Series, probably loads in between, NASCAR 3, I did a lot of league racing in NASCAR 3 with some American friends of mine. But what ended up NASCAR 4, NASCAR 2002, and the last race, the last game they did was NASCAR 2003, which was their kind of last gasp of their own kind of single-player game. And then they turned into having an online-only service and turned into iRacing, which was going to be called, I think, First Racing, I think. But they couldn't do that because of copyright. Someone else had already got the name. And I loaded NASCAR 2003 up the other day, and I was able to complete a race with it. I meant to actually try and install the truck series, because that's the things that I did run a lot in that game, was the NASCAR trucks. But we did it on road courses rather than ovals. I did race a little bit on ovals. I was in a league called S-Scores, which was a European NASCAR truck series league. But I used to race NASCAR trucks with a few friends of mine. All on weird and wonderful road courses, which is quite fun. And I meant to try driving a NASCAR truck on a road course just to see what it felt like. Because obviously games have kind of moved on in their fidelity and how they feel. I've played like older games and they just don't feel like today's games. You don't get a lot of feedback. I mean, graphically I'm not really bothered, but it's the feel. They just feel old. I've definitely got closer. And this is the last lap. Done my fastest lap of the race, so maybe I saw the Lotus getting close and I was like, oh, let's go for it. So I did a 105.7, and that's 1/100th away from the fastest lap of the race. Too late, really. Why didn't I do that earlier? He's being held up as well. He's been held up by a Honda. But it's all too late. Uh-oh. 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 This happened 2 seasons ago. I'm running out of fuel. I ran out of fuel. That's it. I had just the amount of fuel for the race, and that was it. My last lap was a 1:10. We judged that to perfection. I mean, if my last lap was a bit faster than that, I maybe would have caught him on the last lap. So what was his last lap then? Or has he already disappeared? No, that's me. Maybe that wasn't the Lotus. No, that was the Lotus, because that's a Honda just behind. So his last lap was a 1:07.9. I could have taken 2 seconds out of him on that lap. But I ran out of fuel. I ran out of fuel. Second season in a row. Never skimp on fuel. It's not worth it. Right, okay. Let's have a look at the results. I mean, we know what happened. I finished second, but... So this is the results of Monza. Right, Watkins Glen. I get second place. John Ellis gets third. Alec Moss fourth. Joe Barsley fifth. So Andy Straw didn't disconnect. He just must have dropped it then. But he was third for a bit. He ended up sixth. Let's see if the moderator report has to say anything. There's only one disconnection. So B Davies, Tuchler. Oh, someone got a rear-ending penalty. So we saw none of that because that was down the back somewhere. So Mike Dawkins, that was third, ended up 5 laps down. He spun. So Mexico City, our next round was on the 19th of May. So this is going to be our last round of season 5. Hopefully there's more action in this one. Hopefully. Oh yeah. Alright, okay. So I'm going to do the server replay for this one, so we can see more cars. Ooh, lots of spectators. Right. When did I get on the grid? The Polo Mint City Track. That's exactly what it is. Right. Am I in the Ferrari? Yes, I am. So, something going on with the camera there. No, I'm in the Brabham. I thought I was in the Ferrari. So it's been a Brabham and Ferrari season. I've taken the Brabham, what would be, 3 times, and the Ferrari twice. So, I'm third on the grid. This is unheard of. So, Paul Villiers in the Lotus in second, and Kev Hammett in the Ferrari in first. Then we've got A. Davies behind me in the Lotus. Again, he's taken the Lotus, so there mustn't be a restriction on car choice, because he's been in the Lotus for at least 3, maybe 4 of the races. Mike Dawkins in Ferrari, Joe Bardsley in a Ferrari, and we got John Roberts in a Brabham, Tom Lyle. I think there's supposed to be someone here. Whoever that is, I don't know who that's supposed to be. John Ellis in a Brabham, A. Cook in a Lotus, A. Neville in a Cooper, B. Phillips in a Ferrari, A. Moss in a Cooper, Andy Straw at the back in a Brabham. Right, what kind of TV cams have we got? Let's look at it. Chase cam. Right. So we can see the flagman. Good start. Nearly overtake the Lotus at the start there. Now, did I move over on him? Or not? I reckon I was moving over because I'm trying to overtake this guy. But if you look, so I'm judging my position on this big dark line here. I'm not moving. My car is not moving. Although it is moving now. No, it hasn't moved. But this is... I've had trouble... It's not the guy I think it is. It's Paul Villiers. Why? Why would you do that? So from the start... So if you look from the start... You can see in the mirror, you can see a Ferrari, and you can see someone behind him. I am in his blind spot. So he wouldn't know I was there. So still can't see anybody, still can't see anybody, still can't see anybody. There I am. So at this point, once you see the wheels there, would you keep going? I think he maybe judged it a bit late and then regretted it, but maybe he saw something different on his screen. But that's bad, isn't it? So the great start I had turned into whatever this is going to be. So this is going to be another one of those fight back races. I'm going to be last. And I'm embedded in a tree, I think. Just reset. You're embedded in a tree. So I was third. I'm going to... Maybe there's going to be more action in this race. I mean, you know, the size of monitors back then, we're all dealing with like 4x3. I think my monitor was maybe a 15-inch. Maybe I moved to a 17, I can't remember, but... So, I'm probably judging it on... I mean, we would have seen widescreen because of the black bars, but it still would have been in 4x3. So maybe I'm judging it harshly because I'm looking at it in a widescreen resolution, whereas it would have been a 4x3 resolution. So, the fight back begins. And if you remember rightly, and I will remind you, the last race I had at Mexico was the first season, I believe, because we didn't do Mexico last season. I had a coming together with Paul Villiers, which was entirely my fault because I braked late for the really slow hairpin. Maybe that was payback. But I mean, ruined both our races really. But the fight back begins. So we are 12th, 13th. So maybe that's why I didn't take part in the last round, because I was so pissed off. To qualify third on the grid and get taken out in a straight line. Maybe I needed time to cool off and just say, right, I've had enough of this season, I'll start next season. Because I mean, there's part of me that knows that back then I probably would have had maybe a more immature head on my shoulders, as it were. I've maybe been a lot more hot-headed than I am now. rash decisions were par for the course, you know. And I know that I come up in future moderated reports and they are not kind for my driving, so I don't know when that comes up, but it does come up. And they are not pleasant to me. So I don't know what the points did back then either, whether it was top 6 only. I don't think it's top 6 only. I think most of the field actually gets points. Right, who are we battling against? Donk. So it's John Roberts and A. Cook. So that's who we're going to be trying to overtake. We're now up to P12. I don't know who we overtook, but we've overtaken somebody. I hate this corner. I really hate this corner. Now it does look a little stuttery because of this is the server replay. So it's the fidelity's not as good. Nice bit of a switchback action there. Didn't quite do it, but the thought was there. Braking, we're braking. Not quite. But we're showing ourselves in the mirror. So there's a bit of racecraft going on here. So who's behind? It's Andy Neville behind me. Or Anthony Neville, I can never remember which. I'd be quite pissed off if Paul Villiers gets ahead of me in this race. Seeing as though he's the reason that I'm back here. I mean, I can imagine there were a few stern words after the race, perhaps. So, fastest lap of the race is a 1:51.3. I'm doing a 1:52.1. Alright, we've got some slipstream here. Top 14 got points. Are we going to outbrake John Roberts? We don't feel confident into turn 1. Oh, dearie me. Am I going to get punished for that? I did drift outwards. What do you think? Am I going to get a slap on the wrist for that? I think maybe I thought that I could... There is a space up the inside, so I thought that maybe I could accelerate into this gap. But I drifted outwards. I think I'm going to get a slap on the wrist for that. But I mean, he's already closing down, even though I've got an overlap. It's not really netcode or anything, because if you look how close our cars are. But I'm just on the wrong trajectory. I'm a different trajectory than him. He's basically saying, I'm taking this corner. Again, if you look at... Where was he? No, that's the wrong button. So if you look at John here, coming into the corner... Right, so... You can see from this point, you can see that I've gone alongside. Now, if I've disappeared from... This is my brain talking. If you've disappeared from the mirror, you can assume that you're alongside. That's my way of thinking. So basically, John is coming to this corner, maybe thinking I still can't see him in the mirror. I don't think you can generally hear too much of the sound of the other car. But I mean, you would assume, because I haven't reappeared in the mirror, then I'm still there. So coming in here, the gap is closing here. So what do? Leave a wider line or what? No. But again, I reckon I'm going to get blamed for that because I was drifting outwards. But there was an overlap. But it's my fault. So I'm going to get another slap on that. This is probably why I didn't do the last round, because I'm probably going to incur so many infractions in this last race. Just from my... I'm probably driving quite angry. That's the problem. Alright, there's another one. Thank you very much. I'll have that. So we've just overtaken A Cook without too much trouble. And so who's our next victim? Amos. It's going to take a while before we get to Amos. There's only 20 laps of this race. We're already on lap 4. So I'm still only in the 152s and 153s. I haven't really been able to show my pace yet because I've always been behind somebody. So I think I'm definitely racing with a chip on my shoulder at the moment. I mean, as well, I think whether I would have been able to feel me hitting them as well. I mean, I probably would have been able to see them spin in my mirror. Maybe. Just thinking of like what we can see on this monitor and what we would have seen back then. I mean, I'm sure I would have, but maybe I would have been concentrating more towards the apex and I wouldn't have noticed. It probably would have been me kind of go through the corner and then suddenly, oh, where's that guy that was in my mirror? He's not there anymore. So I think there's some reprimands to come. Because when we were doing the second round, I think, Mossport, I pretty much was in the same position. I got taken out on lap 1 or 2. Oh, that's a Ferrari over the top of the hedge. I got taken out on lap 1 or 2. And I had to fight back from the back of the pack. Although I did get a lot of freebies, a lot of help. I eventually made my way back up to second place. But I got a warning along the way for my driving being too aggressive. For an incident that I don't think was right. They said that I was too close to somebody. In fact, the accident that I had with them was caused with them actually spinning and then colliding with me. So it was apparently my fault. On a track that you have to be close to the rear end to even have a chance of getting up the inside of somebody. Don't know. I have a different opinion to the moderator. Right, we're coming up to pass. This is a Cooper, I think, of Amos. Yep. So we got the legs on the Cooper. Show ourselves in the mirror, but I don't think we're really confident braking into turn 1 at all. I've got to remind myself when the next stream is. Ben, can you do me a favour? Can you type exclamation mark next stream in the chat for me? I do too. Need to keep an eye on the time. $2.50, okay. Because the practice should take place at 6 o'clock. Right, we've got the pace on this Cooper ahead. So from a really, really boring race, we've now got a bit of action. It's very, very difficult to follow anyone in this section of the racetrack. But seeing I've got a lot more confidence getting into the corners. I'm not fooling myself with pizzas before the race. That's just silly talk. I never race on a full stomach. But it always means I have late dinners at the weekend. But right, we're up to 7th. So who are we against now? Right, so T. Lyle. I think that's Tom Lyle. Again, my last lap was a 1:54. So I can go much faster. My best lap, I've actually done the best lap of the race. So when I had clear track, I done a 1:50.5. So I am the fastest car on the circuit at the moment. So I can go 4 seconds faster than this when I've got clear air. So what might have been, eh? What might have been? Oh, I think I followed him then. He had a bit of a slip up and I just followed him. Must be embarrassing being passed by a slower car. He doesn't look very comfortable, does he? He's slipping all over the track ahead. I'm able to get the nose in. I mean, am I going to be able to beat him in the straight line? That's the thing. He's particularly bad in the corners. Don't hit the polos. Clonk. I mean, it doesn't help that you clunk in the barrier there. I think I seem to remember, obviously the person that I collided with at the start of the race was called John Roberts, and I believe there were discussions between me and him. Oh, he's got a bit out of shape. I'm now not the fastest car on the circuit because Andy Straw has done a 1:49.9. I believe there were discussions back and forth. I can't remember whether they were nice or not, but I remember there being some discussions. Again, I'm behind a Lotus that is struggling with these turns. I'm able to keep a lot more stable line. Are we going to pass? Again, is he going to pull away on the straight? Or am I going to push him into a mistake? I'm in the draft, it looks like. Don't pull out. You're gaining. No, didn't quite feel confident enough at turn 1. I mean, nowadays, I think maybe I would have taken that. I would have lifted off the brakes a bit. But we're losing time being behind this guy. So I'm doing 153s. I can go 3 seconds a lap faster if I wasn't stuck behind him. I mean, whether we can get back up to the 3rd place we lost, I don't know. This is Tom Lyle ahead of me. So Alan Davis is probably miles ahead because he started in 4th, I think, and probably missed my accident. So I'm all over him in this infield section, but there's just nothing to gain out of it. Is he going to spin out of my way? I can actually gain on him in the draft. This is where I overtook him last time. There we go. Are we going defensive? Are we going defensive? We were getting straight out of the draft. We were breaking the draft dramatically. Up to 6th place now. Right, who's my next opponent? So B. Phillips at No Ferrari is about a corner ahead of me. See, that alert there, I didn't hear it. Why didn't I hear it? Did anything show on the screen when you did that alert, Ben? Next victim, yeah. Because if that alert didn't show, I'm going to have to try and fix it. I don't know what the problem is. Didn't see or hear anything. Oh, that's not how you do that corner, is it? So I think thinking about where the alert is, it's probably trigger fire that's not working. It's definitely visible. Be one of the other ones that's going to work. I don't know. So how far have we got ahead? So I can't even see him. So just past half distance, 11 laps of 20. I'm sure there's a couple of freebies coming up. 6th place might be all we get. Yeah. Moosehead. Tom at Moosehead at Lyle. There he is. Can see him now. Now, even though the curse of the polos with the track, I still like this track. I like the different lines you can take. The fact that you need to take the line so wide. And I mean, technically the layout really hasn't changed from from what it is now in Formula 1. I think the layout probably is not right in this game. It seems a bit tighter than it should be. Particularly the infield section. So I think, I mean, maybe they changed some of the curves in the modern F1 version, but not to know really. But obviously the big change is that when they come up to that big bank turn at the end, they end up going into a stadium section, which is pretty shitty, to be honest. So we have caught the Ferrari. So we're nearly in the top 5. We've got about 8 laps to gain more positions. I mean, the added bonus about... He just gave up. He was just like, nope. This guy's going to pass me anyway. I might as well just give in. I mean, the added bonus is that there was no streaming. There was nothing. Once you started a league race, the only talking you would do would be to yourself. And you didn't have any kind of communication. There was no team speak or voice chat or anything like that. So I imagine races were, in the scheme of things, very quiet. It was just a case of, you know, the sounds of the wheel and maybe the driver saying a few curse words or something. But that was about it. Right, so who's the next victim? John Ellis is the next victim. He's in a Brabham as well. I'm actually in the 150s quite solidly now for a couple of laps. Looks like they were in the 151s. So it might just be a matter of time. So top 5. Can we get any higher in the last 7 laps? So I'm in 5th at the moment. We've got John Ellis that's in 4th. We've got Andy Straw in 3rd. A. Davies in 2nd. And Joe Bardsley has somehow gone up to 1st. He was way back on the grid. I don't know where Kev Hammett went. He was pole. But a good recovery drive, although I think I'm going to get slapped with some penalties and docked some championship points for a collision. But I'd like to see, you know, the moderator has been against me this particular season. So I would imagine that both of the incidents are going to be my fault. I mean, one of them definitely is, I think. Maybe a bit half and half. But the one at the start wasn't. But thankfully the person that caused the accident isn't in front of me. So that's good. So I've now done my fastest lap of the race, which is a 1:49.9, It's still near enough half a second slower than the fastest time of the race, but that's not too bad. Not too bad. Sliding the car into the turns quite nicely. Damn trees. TV1 camera is the same as TV2 camera. So there's some black lines being left there. I don't know if that's from a driver I can see or not. So I'm just crossing the line now. They're not far up the straight. So it won't be long. But I've only got 5 laps to catch up with them. Got to fight back from the back of the field to 5th place. Not too bad. I mean, fight backs are fine. It's just a pity of losing the places in the first place. You know? So I'm still kind of a little bit weirded out by obviously the graphical updates for this track have been maybe historically accurate, but I still think that the Pepsi sign stands out. It seems a bit too new. I don't think the branding of Pepsi was like that back in the 60s. It just seems a bit weird. I mean, all the rest of the banners seem kind of in period, and then you just have this Pepsi sign, and you're like, what? Was Pepsi really kind of advertising on racetracks in the 1960s? Don't know. Not too sure. Can't even see him. He's so far ahead. 4 laps to go. Now, sometimes the stories of my races have been like, you've done this fight back, but you end up throwing it away because you're just pushing too hard. That's sometimes been a trait that I've seen. Freebie! That's 4th place. That's 4th place. Right, next one. Andy Straw. So, can we get on to the podium? Which would be our second podium of the season. Can we get onto the podium? But we've only got 4 laps. And the car ahead is just coming out the final turn. He's miles away. So unless he drops off the circuit, I think that's as far as we're going to get. So Andy Straw is in 3rd, yeah. I don't think we're going to get any further up the field. We just not run out of time, basically. I am kind of intrigued about what the moderator's going to say. I'm probably going to be raging. How dare he give me a penalty? I'm not turning up for the final round. I'm pissed off. there was also I believe you would drop one score. I believe your lowest scoring race, you would drop it. And a no-show would actually count as a dropped score. Keep that in mind. That's foreshadowing. So I've been putting in 150s, so pretty quick. The car ahead has been putting in 150s as well, so not going to catch him. Unless something dramatic happens. I mean, at this stage, I don't know whether I'm still pushing or whether I've just said, right, 4th is enough. I mean, back then, I probably would be still pushing. The fact that I'm doing 150s still and not backed off probably means, like, yeah, I want the next one. Two laps to go. And again, I'm trying to think of what information I would have on screen. It would just be like I would be told every lap that I'm probably the gap is stable, because I think it would only tell you in 1 decimal place. I think it might say that you're like 5.5 ahead or behind, something like that. I don't think it told you in. But I think we're trading fast lap times. Whoa, steady on. Yeah, I'm pushing. And I think the fact that I can see that guy coming the other way probably doesn't make me let off the gas either. So I'm going as fast as I can to keep 4th. Is there a sting in the tail? Have I short fueled it? Am I going to run out of fuel? After all of this effort, am I going to run out of fuel? Because again, there's no real way of knowing. I'm looking at the gauges there. I don't know whether they would have told you anything about fuel. You've got no real-time gauge on whether you're running out of fuel. So the only indication you've got is when your engine starts spluttering. And I mean, you had to kind of work out your fuel load at the start. I don't think it was a case of just filling up the entire tank, was it? You actually had the option of you could short fuel if you wanted to. But there's been a couple of times where I've cut it close. Last round was, last round at Watkins Glen was close, but not as bad as the last round at Watkins Glen, because I pretty much ran out. I coasted over the line because I'd completely run out, and I was very close to being overtaken for 2nd place. Because I'd run out of fuel. So when you kind of think about it, this was very kind of bare bones and back to basics on, what information you had in real time, which was maybe a breath of fresh air, really. It changed a bit later on when people started making like utilities to display lap times and stuff on screen and stuff like that. But the game to start off with didn't have any of that. Last lap. So it's been another fight back drive. It's going to be all for naught because I'm going to get championship points deducted. I mean, if oh, it's a yellow flag. Who is that? That's second place that's binned it. We have a podium. Second place bins it on the last lap. We have a third place. I'm listening to the revs and I'm wondering. No, I don't think I'm running out of fuel. No. Don't bin it on the last corner. Don't hit a polo. But I mean, me getting back to third place, which I think is where I started. No, did I start there? I think I started there. Right, I think I'm going to chuck it off the circuit because I'm so pissed off. Or maybe I'm taking some deep breaths. Probably shouting to myself saying, what the hell was that race about? But I basically recouped back to where I was. But I mean, I'm going to have lost some championship points. Well. There you go. I'm probably not very happy. But probably very, very sweaty. Right. Let's see what the moderator's got to say about that. So 2 incidents. There's one at the start. And there's one in the first few laps where I collided with John Roberts. Let's see what the moderator has to say. Okay. Give me what you got. So, Joe Barsley started 6th, ended up 1st. Andy Straw qualified 15th, ended up 2nd. I started 3rd. I ended 3rd. Alan Davies, Davis, he started 4th but ended up 5th. He had a 2nd place in the bag there, but dropped it. Where's Paul Villiers? Paul Villiers, unknown. It says do not start. So I'm wondering whether he quit after the first lap. Moderator report. Alright, okay. My name is appearing quite a lot in this. Kev Hammett nudged A. Davis, quit the race like a true gent. So that's why Kev Hammett wasn't there. Right, start. P. Villiers, N. Wood slid into each other. No need to change lines. Yeah, no need to change lines. So does that mean I was at fault? Or he was at fault? I didn't. Enwood, lap 4, turn 1, understeered into John Roberts, who was holding a fair line. Overtaking isn't advisable through that corner. Downgraded from a 2-place penalty to warning on appeal. Exactly. I appealed. I appealed. Maybe I did. Maybe my appeal was the fact that I said that my arguing was that I was in his blind spot and I hadn't disappeared from his blind spot. Either reappeared in front of him or reappeared in the mirror, so he should have assumed that I was still there. And I think the overtaking opportunity was on, but I just didn't do it very well. I think there was always that fear of the polos on the inside. Trying to get through those tight 2 turns, the car on the outside would have to give way. It would have no option because such a tight line coming into that corner, you need the space to be able to get through it. So it does take a bit of give and take there. So I didn't get any penalties for that, which is quite cool. So what happened at Snetterton? So Anthony Hurst won that one. I didn't take part in that one. Okay, so if we look back at the championship table, second in the championship. But I think maybe I was like, maybe I thought that I wasn't going to gain first and I wasn't going to lose second. So it was best for me to not score, because if I finished any, well, if I had finished maybe on the podium or something, they would have maybe taken away 6 points of it. But I think I thought that because I'm only like 29 points. But I would need to have leapfrogged Andy Straw by 29 points. But in the end, he didn't turn up either. So I could have won the championship in that final round. But whether or not I was still annoyed. So you see that a lot of people did have a mixture of cars. But 2 drivers took the same car the whole season. I had no penalties for that entire season. Whee! So that's good. I don't know whether the token system was actually applied. It doesn't actually look like there was any anything to do with tokens. Oh no, it does. It just says tokens 60, 61, 54. So I don't quite know. I know that the lower divisions didn't automatically have the token system, because maybe we're in Division 5 and it doesn't apply. Maybe when we go up, it's more apparent. Because it's just saying, it is saying what, tokens and varying values, but I'm not sure how the tokens apply. Because if someone's taken the Lotus every single round, it says they've used 100 tokens. But I think in the budget was probably around 60 or 70. Maybe less. But maybe it just didn't apply for Division 5. I mean, if you look at the dropped score there, if John didn't get that 9 points removed, he still wouldn't have beaten me. He would have got 161. So, but again, I don't know if it was on my part being so pissed off that I didn't take part in the final round, or because that was 2nd of June. 2nd of June 2002. I would have been working, so it wouldn't have made any difference with. There was no holidays or anything. So what's 2nd of June? I may have been away. Not sure. But good news for next season. I went up to Division 4 next season. I got promoted because I finished in the top 2. So I get promoted to Division 4. So that's good. So we're going to have to move the replays out and in. So let's see. So that's season 5. Season 6. Right, season 6. It looks like we have a round 0. So I'm wondering whether that was a pre-season test. It looks like I missed out a few rounds here. So I've got round 0. We're not going to count round 0. I've got round 1. I've got round 2. I've got round 3. I've got round 5. I've got round 6. I've got round 7. And I've got round 9. So we've got 7 races of 9. It might be a 9-race season. So who knows? So if we look at... I'm trying my best not to get spoilers for what I've got coming up. But, so season 6... I'm actually going to show you this, actually. So, season 6. This season sees a number of important rule changes. The changes are summarised below. The token system is replaced by the use of pit stops and a free car choice. Ooh. Along with this, there is a new point scale. So it was always 50 for a win, but they've reduced the amount of points for the third, I think. Makes championships a bit harder, doesn't it? The season will be 9 races long. 1 race will be at an add-on track. The other 8 will be at standard GPL tracks. No races will be scheduled for bank holidays. No results are dropped from a driver score. Each and every race counts. Really? So Ben Summers is the membership secretary. A yellow card system will be used to deal with repeated bad driving. Drivers who cause incidents will be penalised actual places instead of points. All divisions will use int long, that's intermediate long. So whether that changes the amount that we were using for. So we did 20 laps at Mexico? Maybe they're going to be longer races now. Any driver who uses Shift R will have to... Now, this is the rule that I don't agree with. Any user that uses a Shift R, so they basically Shift R, reset their car. So if it's significantly damaged, you've overturned or something, you Shift R. It basically puts you on fresh tyres, but full race fuel. So you've already penalised yourself. Shift R will have to take a stop and go. There is a limit on the number of Shift Rs permitted in one race. A voluntary stop and go rule is dropped. We've decided to run a parallel championship in each division for those who stick with a single chassis. You won't need to do anything extra, but the idea is that you can measure yourself against others who give up the chance to swap cars and take advantage of the marks, which are perhaps more suited to certain tracks. So, a manufacturer's championship. Who knew? Who knew? So that's what we've got for the season coming up. So for round 1, and again, I didn't do all the races, so whether this was because of holidays or, I don't know, being annoyed or something, I can't really tell. So round 1 is Zandvoort, round 2 is Spa, round 3 is Monaco, missed round 4, round 5 is Silverstone, round 6 is Nordschleife, round 7 is Mosport, missed round 8, and round 9 is Snetterton. So I did actually take part in Snetterton this time. So cool. Right. Change the music playlist up. We're now playing, what's it, 80s playlist, I think. I have put a Channel Points Redemption in, so that you can nominate a search criteria if you want to choose the music. Right, let's see. There was an alert thing that didn't actually work. That must be just a sound one. So I wonder if this is a trigger fire one. Okay. I know which ones have a that one is not coming up. Right, let's have a look. I think it's a trigger fire thing. Oh, it's a Twitch thing. Oh, okay. I was reading the wrong number. Alright, let's see why you're not working. That's a bit loud. You probably didn't hear it, but I did. So, I've forgotten how to use trigger fire. I've forgotten. Videos. Sounds. Command name. Ah, I see the problem. I see the problem. It's probably going to blow me my ears off now. I can't redeem it. Someone else redeem the Leica glove. Why can't I redeem it? Yes. I thought. I mean, I thought admins would be exempt from that, but obviously Twitch doesn't think so. I've got 2 alerts which are the same thing. Okay, right. I can turn one of them off. Where's Dumb and Dumber? There's no point in that one being on. Right, so this should show something on stream. Yeah. I freaking love that one. Okie doke, right. So I've downloaded a few mods. So I've got a couple of hours until stream. 2 hours. Cool. What I've been doing is making icons for R-Factor 2 mods. And I downloaded a few older ones. So I was led to believe that I don't think they have thumbnails. I think there might be a message waiting for me in Discord now. Nope, must just be that I haven't updated the game then. So we're going to go into R-Factor 2 and I'm going to check the thumbnails. Oh, excuse me. One thing that sprung in my mind. Obviously, when I do my my Iron Brew alert, one thing that struck me when I was thinking about maybe I should use some more images, some more random images. I'm remembering a comedy sketch of a comedian called... God, it's gone straight out of my head now. Something Ross? Something Ross? Or Ross something? I think it was back in the 80s. Whoever it was used to do like a very stereotypical Scot. So like he would wear like a white vest and he would have a kilt and he would have a tartan cap on with a bobble on it, and he would talk with a very thick Scottish accent. I did wonder whether Scottish people like that or whether it's insulting to them or not. I'm not entirely sure. Because he was just generally doing a parody of every stereotype of a Scot, Just updating the title and stuff at the moment. But I can't remember his name. It was Ross something, wasn't it? Unless I look it up, that's going to drive me absolutely insane. It was something Ross, wasn't it? I mean, it's probably not going to be Ross at all. I just put into YouTube Ross comedian. It's not bringing up anything. Well, what if I actually spelt comedian right? It wasn't Rob Ross. It's not Ross Noble. Because I mean, it's an 80s comedian. And I mean, I put in Scottish, but he's not Scottish. Oh, it's just gonna wind me up, man. I know he was English as well. List of British comedians. Well, that's not going to be. Or if I put the word Ross. Ross Noble, Jonathan Ross, Leonard Rossiter. I can see him in my head. I know what he looks like. I mean, I don't think he was any part of like he was around kind of like maybe the era of Benny Hill. That kind of era. That's gonna really wind me out. Don't know. I have no idea. Right, okay, let's open the game. I don't know who it is. That's the only comedy sketch that sticks in my mind. I mean, it's not necessarily a comedy sketch maybe it was famous for, but who knows? So I'm loading lots of the old mods there. Oh, gosh, that's good. Right. So, let's have a look. So, can't remember what I've loaded and what I haven't. So, I've done the box master. So, I mean, that won't be too hard to edit. Whether or not it's gonna. It's too big to appear in the thumbnail. Oh dear. That's funny. That's really funny. So, we're going to change. Is it still too big? I mean, that's as best as I can do. Thumbnail wise. But I'm never really going to get it exactly straight. So that's as best as you're going to get for the thumbnail. Ice cream van. I mean, they're all going to be varying in sizes as well, which is a bit of a pain in the ass. I'm guessing because the showroom's just not meant for cars which are this big. Gingerbread van? It's even got the old logo on it, like. So we got the box master. Does the Caterham have? Yeah, Caterham's okay. What's the other ones I loaded? Hondas. So the Hondas definitely need one. What? I mean, if I look at, I mean, I had the same problem with the Formula Renault. Yeah, I think something's wrong. But if I go back to the normal showroom, it may still appear. I mean that showroom is all a bit bright, really, and you can't get to get the car like side on is very very difficult. So there's something wrong with both of those showrooms which don't like showing the. And I think that's the only two showrooms which got side views that I've got installed. I mean, that one's okay. But to get it to what would be a side view, I'd have to I'd have to put a ruler up against my screen. And I mean, look at the shadow. That's going to be part of the thumbnail as well. Maybe I'm going to have to ask someone about that. Why some showrooms show certain parts. Right. Let's see if... So we got a Cody, which is a fictitious car. Let's see if the Cody display's okay. I mean, that's okay. It's a bit bright and a bit low res, but it works. I remember when they released this, that it was like an experiment for... I wonder if I should make them as big as possible in the thumbnail. I've got to do the other one again now. They released it as like an experiment for converting an R-Factor 1 mod to an R-Factor 2 mod. So it was actually done by the developers. And it was a very basic conversion. And they converted a fantasy track called Sardian Heights, which was a street circuit. Very long, very reminiscent of Long Beach. Right, so... I mean, the cool thing about when this mod was like all the rage back in the R-Factor 1 days, it had a unique thing where it could be customized quite a lot. You could put rear wings and different versions of stuff on. It was using the upgrade system very well. I mean, I can't imagine it looks very good now. It's not been updated for years. It's probably very bright, very low res. I mean, I wonder if anyone still uses it. But if the wheels don't display on one of the Honda NSX, I'd seriously doubt the other ones are going to appear. I mean, it's a pity they didn't convert the car that I particularly liked because of its sound. In R-Factor 1, they had the, like, I suppose the V8 version of the Cody. It escapes me what it was actually called now, but it this was kind of like the BTCC kind of touring car, and the other one was a GT, and it sounded awesome. It rumbled, and I find it a bit annoying that they didn't in the end convert that one instead. So I think I remember that R Factor just released with I think it released with 3 cars. No, 4. I think it had an open wheel which was called the R Trainer, I think. It had this, which was, I think, a 2-wheel drive saloon car. It then had like what was like a rear wheel drive GT car, and then it had what would maybe be the equivalent of a bit more powerful monster car, kind of, I don't know, a beefier GT car called the Hammer. So it wasn't Honda, was it? It was. So I installed a Honda NSX. It's a Corvette. That's the other ones I installed. So what would that be under? Chevrolet. Right, let's see if this one appears. Games crash. I don't know if it's this particular showroom, but when you come in and out of the showroom multiple times, and I've done it for like more than 10 cars, it seems to crash. It's very odd. Have I said that I hate this time of year? It's already dark. And it's only 4 o'clock. I hate it. I hate it. Now, I thought that it was the fact that I was changing the alpha. And not turning the alpha back on. Strange that it won't let me zoom out more than that. So I'm going to turn the alpha back on every time I leave the showroom to see if that has an effect. I mean, it may be just this particular showroom. Kind of suggests that it's maybe a memory leak or something. Inferno Orange. That's a nice colour car, isn't it? It's the only real time that this game has kind of looked at road cars as a thing, and then they went back to racing cars after that. That's very bright. I wonder if they're still being used. I wonder if people still race them. I think they're still usable to a point. Seems to be a lot of cars of the same. Oh, there's C6 GS. I don't know what GS means. This is supposed to be an 80s playlist, but this comes from a soundtrack called Full Metal Jacket. Oh my god. So I think there's 3 mods of this, but they're not separated, so I'm going to have to... Doesn't make much sense, does it? So that's the the Corvette GS. Oh, Grand Sport. So, the Ground Sports start at Arctic White. So there should be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay. I think I've only got this album because it's sampled by quite a few artistes. Cars. Mainly sampled by the Prodigy. Where are we? I go in there. I'm just organising everything. So this is a Corvette from 2012. So oh, there's a Z06 and a Z01. So there's the Z06. Oh, okay. So I haven't done those. Oh, bloody hell! There's loads of them. Yeah, I think I'll just be doing a couple, perhaps. I mean, if I go to the Z06 and change the workshop, the showroom. I mean, this showroom doesn't have any zoom on it. See, I'm still confused about this. This bit here and this bit here are the only two places that you see the icons, but it makes you make 5 sizes. And I don't know. I mean, this is probably like the 512 size, and this one is probably like the 128 width size. So well, I didn't do the Honda NSX, did I? No. Ugh. How do I move that? There we go. Boxmaster. Boxmaster. I mean, it's only 4. Do. All right. Okie dokie. So might as well work from the top, I suppose. Boxmaster. The Boxmaster. I'm gonna have to change my my script for Photoshop as well, because I mean, I can do all the renaming and stuff in one go. I don't need to do that extra step of renaming the extra files. I thought I had to, but I don't. Oh. I've got half an hour, I think. That's probably what I'm going to do, is cut the stream and then come back just before 6 o'clock. Because that's when practice starts, I think. I need to double check. Where's the league info? Oh, that's bright. Right. So it says qualifying is 6:30. And I always like to have half an hour's practice. Okay. Okay. Right. Vehicles. Boxmaster. Is it going to be in the Boxmaster folder? No, because that would be simple, wouldn't it? It's under ISI Boxmaster. Right, do I want to open Photoshop over the top of R Factor? Where's my mouse pointer gone? There it is. Right, so we're going to go to Automate Image Processor Pro. I did a search. I could not find an alternative way of doing this, unfortunately. It just didn't seem to be a program to do it. So I'm having to use a plugin. Right, so if I can remember the syntax. So it's dash icon dash 2048 times 1152, I believe. And we're going to save the icon thing to the desktop, to the clipboard rather. So that's what we're going to rename that one. Right, this custom text is really going to get on my nerves now. Right, 1024. Unfortunately, the dialogue box is not playable, so it's off screen. $512 by 288. Times 288. Save. $256 times 144. I'm hoping that it's saving the changes for these. Yeah. Right. Edit custom text. 128 times 72. Right, we're going to save that script. Okie doke, right. Something we haven't done is we haven't processed the thumbnails. So, if we open all of the... Oh no, we've got to rename the vehicle files, haven't we? I remember now. So there's only 4. So it won't be that hard to figure out which one comes from which. At least I thought it would be. I mean, I did them in order, but it doesn't actually put the sponsors on the files. So I'm just going to assume that they just went in number order. I nearly forgot a step, didn't I? So if I open all of the... Oh, no, that's wrong. If I open all the pings, the PNGs. So here's all my PNGs. So I've got a script in Photoshop that can do a batch. Oh, excuse me. So invert, crop, and save. So all of the open files. It's going to grab all the surrounding area. It's going to invert it. It's going to crop it, and it's going to save it. So if we look at one of them, that's what we're left with. now we can do the Automate Image Pro, Image Processor Pro. So choose folder, Box Master, okay. Run. So it should have 4 times 5, which is 20 files. I did get a few comments on my updates. People appreciated it, so that's good. I might not be able to do proper updates for things, so this is the next best thing. Right. So if we look at our resized images, so there you go. We've got 20. Oh no. Oh no, it didn't save. It didn't save the settings. Should we try that again? Bought a few albums last week. Did I buy? I bought a DJ Shadow album. I bought a Skin album. I bought a Chemical Brothers album. I bought what else did I buy? Unfortunately, I bought the wrong versions of the albums. I always tend to do that. I have things on my wish list that I buy stuff from, but then I find out there was a special edition or something that I missed, which had extra tracks on it, so I'm always gutted when I do that. So I bought a Chemical Brothers album, a Baby Metal album, a DJ Shadow album, a Roswell 6 album, a Skin album, Guns N' Roses, a Tool album, a Lynyrd Skynyrd album, a Roxette album. That's what I bought this week. Also trying to think of what I'm gonna... I had some ideas of what I'm gonna get my niece and nephews this Christmas. Right, so this is a bit better. I've got all the files now. This is the right stuff. So, right, am I doing it in the right order? So we open the Mass 2 utility, and then we archive all of these. Let's just check that they are correct. Yeah. So the 20481 is actually 3000 wide, but you've unfortunately got to keep the naming conventions. Right, save. Boxmaster. Master. Icons. Right, we've done that. So our next step is to create a package. Simple package. We're going to make a new component. Component is ISI Boxmaster 2015. We're going to put it in the packages folder. And we're going to call it Boxmaster Icons Upgrade. Version. Well, the version is 0.99. So what do I do? 0.991. 0.991. Update from 0.99. It's a vehicle. We're going to put my name in it. And we're going to add the mass file. And we're going to package it. Completed with no errors. Good. We're going to quit R-Factor because we want so what's it under? Right, so the upgrade there works. So I'm going to update it. I'm going to open the game. My body has been threatening me about having a cough and a sore throat. It won't just give me a cold, but it will say, you're going to have a cold, but not quite. I'm not going to quite give you a cold. I'm going to threaten with a cold. Yeah! There we go. So I assume I got them right. But it doesn't show it. Okay, so that works. Alright, so we want to make an icon workshop item thumbnail. Boxmaster. 0.991. We're going to relink to a file. We're going to do that one. That one. Or do we want to do the other one? The one which is less white. This one. Yeah. Alright, so save a copy. We save it as a PNG. Boxmaster. Why have I got this song? This is from the BioShock Infinite soundtrack? What? Fine. This is from the 80s? Well, I guess it kept the date on the files then. Okay, so I want to take the update off. Right, packages. Maybe that's the reason I should have put this in a different location. Never mind. Right. Box Master. Update. Create item. Okay. Box Master. Just. I don't know what you'd call this. Truck. This says fantasy car. I'm going to call it fantasy car, I think. Right, so. Right, let's see where it is. Or maybe I have to look for my content. There she is. Right, let's put my YouTube link in there just for shits and giggles, I suppose. I don't think it needs any of those. I wonder where the tag gets shown then. Because it only shows me... Oh, you can only do the tags with the... with the thingy-majiggy. Add it to that. Might as well add it to the game Discord just so... Cool. There we go. It's been approved. I don't know where the tag bit comes in. Because those ones say open wheel. It says last updated. Doesn't make sense. Yeah, it doesn't have a... It's not tagged with fantasy then. Maybe it's just not allowed as even though it was tagged in the actual... It should really be truck. So I don't know whether I can change the icon and just upload it again. Change the well, I've updated it. I was hoping that the change notes would change. Or have I just accidentally added another one? I mean, the publish field ID is not changed. Well, it says truck there now, so I don't know why the change note wasn't updated, but so there you go. We have updated okay. Where's the game? It says I'm still running. Oh no, I've quit the game. Cool. Right, okay. It is 5 o'clock. I need to prep for the next part of the stream. I'm going to probably chop it so that I can do the highlight. Let's get rid of that. I obviously need a pee break and everything. Right, so I'm going to be back at just before... I mean, the stream is going to go live at 5:45, but I'm physically not going to be live until 6 o'clock because I've got some practice to do. So we're going to be racing... It's the 250 kilometres of Bridgehampton, and we're going to be racing in the Virtual World Sports Card Series. So I've got to get all my stuff set up, get myself prepared, put my little racing booties on, and get my VR headset on, because that's what we're going to be working with. So join me nearer to 6 o'clock, and you'll be able to watch some racing, hopefully. And fingers crossed it's a lot more action-packed than the racing that I have been doing, and hopefully without incident. So yeah. So thank you for watching. Thank you for the follows. Hope to see you back here if you want to watch a little bit of racing. It can sometimes be hectic, sometimes not. But I'll still be able to read chat while I'm driving, because I have it all set up that way. So that will be cool. My hands are really cold. But anyway, get myself all warmed up and ready. So I'll see you back in about 30 minutes to 45 minutes. See you later.